So, the second wave of Ascension has begun. So if you've ever listened to Matt Kahn, you may have heard him use the term the first wave of Ascension. He would often say, you are the first wave of Ascension, as he's been giving his talks over the last few years. And if you've seen any of my videos I've done before about the 9-year cycle of awakening, and I will be doing more videos on this, I'm going to try and get some more clarity down on video about this. So the idea is that we seem to be going through this cycle, through this, well, it's fairly well documented through many spiritual traditions that the nature of reality is cyclical, or spiral actually. But this cyclical nature of reality, we seem to be going through repeating cycles. And I put this down to a very specific 9-year cycle based on my own awakening cycle, but it seems tied in very much to the collective. It seems my reality, part of my calling, seems to be to mirror the collective, to be a kind of marker, way marker for the collective evolution. And so the last 9-year cycle began on September equinox 2009 and ended on the September equinox 2018, 9 years later. And I made quite a few videos about how I believe this cycle was occurring, and now I know it's occurring. I see it's happening like all the time, specifically now. And so around like 6 months ago, 7-8 months ago, nearly something like that, around 8 months ago, September, was the beginning of this new cycle. And it's now becoming very clear to me that we have entered into this new cycle and a new wave of ascension is beginning. So Matt Kahn would call the last wave that cycle, as that's my numbers, my dates, but this first wave of ascension seemed very much tied into that. There were before that like several people that awoke that we might call the precursors, like who we know as the well-known teachers like Bentinho Massaro, dare I say his name, and Adyashanti, Muji, Jeff Foster, Lisa Cairns, people like Drumvalo, Melchizedek, Darrell Anker, Greg Braden, these kind of people that were at the forefront of the exploration of the spiritual realm and became the big teachers and the big names on the internet. They were what I call like the kind of precursors. They were like the first few, the anomalies that woke up before everyone else. But then around 2009, we seemed to go through this massive wave where loads of people began to wake up and become interested in consciousness, ETs, conspiracies, all this sort of stuff. But what seems to be happening now is I believe we have entered into what I know I see everywhere. We have entered into this second wave of ascension. Like, people are waking up everywhere. You might have noticed that like this stuff has like gone mainstream. Well, not quite mainstream, because it seems the TV still isn't allowed to talk about this, but it's going mainstream big time. Like, people are becoming conscious everywhere. People are becoming interested in ETs, conspiracies, new age health remedies. That new age word has got such a stigma to it, hasn't it? It's like new age, oh my god, that means they don't know anything about spirituality if they're new age. So we seem to be going, and it's definitely happening. We've entered this second wave. We're in the second wave of ascension. We are evolving. Shivai, good day.